It's time to figure out who makes the best leather sandal because it's almost summer and people love their leather sandals, and with good reason. They don't stink as much because of the natural properties of leather. They last significantly longer because leather's so durable, and they compress to the shape of your foot, giving that perfect glove-like imprint in your sandal that makes them ultra comfortable. But there's a whole lot of BS in the leather sandal world. So we got 4 of the top leather sandals to cut in half, run through our test to really see who reigns supreme in the leather sandal world. Everybody gets in car crashes. In 2020, over 5 million car crashes happened. That's 15,000 a day, 600 an hour. Whether it's a small fender bender or a big accident, a lot of times the insurance companies, the people that caused the accident, nobody's looking out for you. But with Morgan & Morgan, they will look after you because they are America's largest injury law firm with over 100 offices nationwide, 800 lawyers, and over 4,000 support staff. So no matter when that accident happens, they can help you all the way along the way. And it's actually pretty easy too, considering the situation at least, because you can file a claim in 8 clicks or less, and you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home. So for more information, go to forthepeople.com or dial #law. That's #529 from your cell phone. And thanks again to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video. So first, let's go over the contenders, starting with the most affordable one, the Quai. The style is the men's yoga mat leather flip-flop thong sandals with arch support. They weigh 4.1 ounces. They retail for $11.99, made in China. And the way that they position this product is flip-flops for men's shower traction. The grip of these shoes is quite good on walking. The slippers are not slippery even when your feet sweat. I hadn't read that before I recorded this. The next contender is a really popular one because the brand is Rainbow. The style is the luxury leather, single layer arch support. They weigh 6.4 ounces. They retail for $70 and they're made in China. And the way that Rainbow positions this product is this beautiful luxury leather design comes with traditional 1-inch straps starting at the box X toe piece fit to the top sole for comfort and functionality. The best feature of this new line is that there's virtually no break-in process. Next contender is Southern Polish, aka Trenton and Heath from YouTube. The style is a tobacco brown smooth. They weigh 8.6 ounces. They retail for $105 and they're made in the USA. And the way that Southern Polish positions this product, and just so you guys know who they are, Southern Polish is owned by Trenton and Heath, who are professional cobblers turned YouTube cobblers, who have now turned sandal makers as well as all the other stuff. And being in the South, they saw a need for a high quality USA leather sandal, and nobody made it, and so they made it themselves, and they're all made in-house in Tennessee, USA. And then to the final contender, the OluKai Malika. They weigh 9.6 ounces. They retail for $140. And we don't know where it was made because we couldn't find it on the packaging, but their other OluKais are made in Vietnam, so I'm assuming it's foreign made. And the way that they position this product is get ready for the perfect fit with these premium Hawaiian-inspired cowboy sandals, buttery soft leather that will mold to your feet over time, providing a custom fit that will keep you comfortable and stylish wherever you go. So first, let's look at the leather qualities of all these, because that's what really matters most, in my opinion, with the leather sandals. So let's start with the Quai first, being the most affordable. And the way that they describe this product on Amazon and in the photos make it seem like it's a leather footbed. And they say that the straps are leather. So is that true? Well, we burned them and both are not leather, clearly. So once again, you can't trust Amazon at all to tell you the truth about especially leather products. So moving to the rainbows. So this is a nubuck leather, which gives it this microfiber like texture to it and gives it a little bit more grip so your foot's not sliding around immediately until it breaks in. But is this actually leather, and is it good leather? Well, we burned both of them and it's pretty clearly leather, unlike the other ones. And it's a pretty decent high quality leather because it's 2 millimeters thick, so thick enough that it's gonna absorb your sweat pretty well. And we also put it on the macro lens to see if it was a true nubuck, and there is plenty of grain in there, so it's a decent nubuck leather where they just sand the top surface of that grain down. So overall good leather on the rainbows, but not really world class, but not bad. You know, it's a decent leather for the price. But one leather that is pretty close to world-class leather is the Southern Polish, because this leather is tanned by the US tannery Sandal. And if you don't know who Sandal is, they're known for making some of the most durable leather in the entire world. That's why all the Pacific Northwest work boot brands that charge $600 for their handmade boots use this leather in their upper because it's so dependable and because it's so strong. So in full transparency, Trenton and Heath and I, we're boys, so there's some bias here, but the leather should fully speak for itself because we just barely went over this leather in the White's mock toe video, and it is basically the exact same leather because it's the same thickness at 2.5 millimeters thick. It's the same type of leather, and so it really is a high-end work boot leather put on a footbed of a sandal. And because it's 2.5 millimeters thick, it's still gonna absorb your sweat, it's gonna compress the shape of your foot a little bit more than the 2 millimeter leather on the rainbows, and it's just gonna be significantly more durable because it is an actual world-class leather. Not that the rainbows is bad, but the Southern Polish is better. And then if we look at the OluKais, so this is a weird leather because it's wrapped around and you can't really tell what quality leather it is. So we cut a little section out of it and it's actually pretty thin. It's only 1.7 millimeters thick, but it is a fairly unique leather because this is a pull-up leather. And if you don't know what pull-up is, it's the effect that leather has if it's really stuffed with oils and conditioning, to where if you bend it, the leather lightens up significantly. So it's a pretty cool leather, and it's a unique leather, and it's not a definitive sign of super high quality leather, but you usually only see it in a decent quality leather. But because it's so packed with oils and tanning compounds and conditioners, it's not nearly gonna be as absorptive as the other two leathers that we've seen. It's basically the difference between a wet sponge and a dry sponge. These two are going to absorb your sweat like crazy. This is gonna feel a little bit slick, and that's probably why they put the little decorative sewing on there, along with it being decorative, obviously. So if we were to rank these leathers from best to worst, pretty clearly, Southern Polish uses a high quality boot leather for the footbed. Then this is a tough one because you could flip this either way. I think for its purpose, the Rainbow is a better leather, but in a vacuum, I think the OluKai's is a better leather, even though it's 1.7 millimeters thick. So for this video, I put Rainbows, OluKai's, and then this doesn't belong on the scale because there's no leather in it. So that brings us to what to me is the second most important thing about sandals is comfort, because there's just no use if they're not comfortable, especially for sandals, because you're not doing it for the look. So if we look at the Quaaludes first, they say that this foam is yoga mat made from real TPE foam yoga mats. And it is soft. It is only a 7 Shore A, so up there with the softest material we've seen. But the problem with this soft of a foam without the leather topper is it's gonna start crumbling and cracking and splitting because there's nothing preventing this ultra soft foam from chunking off like this really, really easily. So once again, hot garbage on the Amazon side of things. Then if we look at the Rainbows, so this comes in a 24 Shore A, and it's hard to figure out what this is made out of because they don't really tell you, and it seems intentional, but they call it memory foam. And so I'm assuming it's a polyurethane foam, but I could be wrong. And one nice thing about this is you've got two different densities. You've got this little patch here that builds up the arch support that's a little bit firmer, and then you've got that softer top layer that's a 24 Shore A. And it's not that it's really soft, it's a little bit on the firm side, because if you look at the Southern Polish, this midsole comes in at a 12 Shore A, so splitting the difference between the two. And the cool thing about this midsole is that it's made by Merrimack, who makes the outsoles for Thorogood, who makes foam for Thorogood, and also makes the foam for Chacos. So it's a high quality USA manufactured foam, which seems to be what Southern Polish is going for with this sandal. And the Southern Polish is a polyurethane foam. So slightly more squishy underfoot than the Rainbows, but not nearly as dead underfoot as the junk. And because this leather is 2.5 millimeters thick, you get all that squish underfoot, plus it feels a little bit more stable underfoot compared to like a straight foam like this where your foot's rolling all over the place. And then if we look at the OluKais, so this is where things really start to diverge for the OluKais because they're coming at a 75 Shore A. So really hard, and it's an EVA foam, and it seems like this is starting to lean a little bit more towards how a sneaker feels underfoot because it's a lot firmer, it's supportive, but you don't have that same really soft, squishy sandal feel. Comfort conclusion, I would say Quaaludes, even though they scored well in some of the tests, they're just not comfortable. It feels like walking in quicksand. The Rainbows performed really well in their responsiveness and the squish, but they're gonna be a little firm underfoot compared to the Southern Polish, which give you all that squish, plus a leather topper and a little bit more of the really squishiness of the Quaaludes. And then the OluKais, once again, it just feels more like a sneaker. You know, it feels completely different underfoot than the rest of these. So it's the most firm and the most uncomfortable underfoot initially. Now to the third important aspect of flip-flops and sandals is the durability. So we wanted to test these straps to see how many pounds it took to actually pull through. So we did the toe strap first, and starting from worst results to best, Quaaludes 47 pounds, OluKai's 243 pounds, Rainbows 388, and then the Southern Polish topped the charts at 456 pounds. Then we tested the two straps on the side. Once again, worst to best is the Quaaludes 108. The Rainbows broke all three tests, so we had to run it again. Here's the results. And then Southern Polish, 147 pounds. And then the OluKais took it this time with 194 pounds. And we also tested the outsoles to see how hard they were. Softest was 39 Shore A with the Quaaludes, then Southern Polish at 42, then Rainbows at 45, and then the OluKai's at 62. And then the final durability test we did was the outsole puncture test. Quailu's again, 19 pounds. Then Southern Polish at 70, Rainbows at 77, and OluKai's at 108 pounds. So after the test, if we rank them from least durable to most durable, Quailu's pretty clearly least durable. Then I would say Rainbows, because Rainbows performed really well across the board, but they didn't really excel in one specific area. And then I would put the Southern Polishes, because of that strength of the strap, significantly stronger than the rest. And then technically the OluKai's are probably the strongest because you've got that rubber outsole, you got all the leather wrapped, that had great test results on all of them, but you sacrifice the comfort. So now that we have the preliminary results, let's cut these things in half, see what else is on the inside, see if anyone's hiding any sins on the inside, how the straps are connected, and really figure out who's the best leather sandal. All right, we got them cut in half, and just to readdress it again, just so you know, me and Trenton and Heath from Southern and Polish, we're boys. I like those guys a lot. We started our channels around the same time, and so I am biased towards them to some degree, but the benefit of this channel is we give you the test results, the measurements, and everything you need to know so you can make your own decision. But I wanted to address it because I don't want it to take away from what they've done, because they are actually doing something pretty cool with this USA made boot thickness leather sandal. So that being said and readdressed, let's see what's inside, starting with this piece of garbage. So for the most part, not a whole lot of surprises. The Quailu's, exactly what you would expect, garbage on the inside. The Rainbows, it is cool that we now know that that piece of white foam does go all the way to the inside. It's not just a little gimmicky thing, it is an actual integrated component of the shoe. And for the Southern Polish, this is why the straps were so much stronger. So it's a full thickness strap with that nylon reinforcement in the strap wrapped all the way underneath the shoe. So that's why this took 500 pounds to tear out. And the OluKai's, honestly, once again, it's kind of like a sneaker on the inside, a little bit harder foam, it's all encapsulated, and you have that thick rubber outsole that runs all the way, that isn't just these little nubs, it's actually the entire outsole is rubber with just this overlay of leather. So now that we have them cut in half, what does it all mean for each of these? Well, avoid the Quailu's at all costs. OluKai's, very unique sneaker feeling sandal. It's a unique offering for a specific person. I don't think it's quite as versatile as these other two, but it has its purpose. A sneakerish feeling sandal that kind of performs like a sneaker and is as solid and firm as a sneaker. And then we have the Rainbows and the Southern Polish that have been neck and neck the entire time, very similar sandals. The Rainbows scored really well pretty much across the board. They didn't really fail any results anywhere. They have the most arch support. They have a pretty good leather, and they are under $100 and the cheapest out of the three actual wearable sandals. The Southern Polish, on the other hand, they're the most comfortable. It's got that soft foam rubber that is made in the United States, topped with that really thick leather that's gonna break into the shape of your foot, all while stabilizing that foam underneath, but it doesn't have the arch support that the Rainbows have, and it's $30 more. So deciding between the Southern Polish and the Rainbows for practical daily use, if you like the squish and you want it to last a really long time, go with the Southern Polishes. If you want a little bit more support and that arch support and a little bit cheaper, go with the Rainbows. But honestly, you can't really go wrong with either one. But I just lean towards Southern Polish. I know you're not supposed to like lean into the bias, but like I just like what these guys are doing. It's a boot leather, made in the United States, it's made in-house. So it's hard for me, even if I didn't know these guys, not to choose them for that reason, which is a bias in and of itself. So let me know what you guys think and which one you would buy if you chose one. And if you've worn any of these, what your experiences is in the comments section, because it's a great resource for people. And thank you guys so much for everything you do. See ya.